Hello and welcome back to Project Mastery Podcast, where we simplify complex project management concepts so you can master them with confidence. Today's focus: two topics every project manager must understand: the difference between a cost baseline and cost budget, why it is sometimes so hard to estimate project cost accurately. These two insights could easily be the difference between a project that is financially sound and one that spirals out of control. Let's get into the first question. What is the key difference between a cost baseline and a cost budget? There are four choices given here: management reserve, contingency reserve, emergency reserve, control account. The answer is management reserve. Let's break it down. The cost baseline is your approved project spending plan. It includes all estimated cost and contingency reserves for known risk. Think of it as your spending map, the plan you measure performance against. But when you add the management reserve, that extra cushion set aside for unknown or unforeseen risk, you get the cost budget. That is the total amount the organization is willing to spend on the project. If your cost baseline is like a car's fuel tank, the planned fuel for the journey, then your management reserve is the spare canister in the trunk just in case you run into a problem. Together, they make up your total cost budget. Cost budget is actually cost baseline plus management reserve. Other choices are not the right answers. Contingency reserve is a choice given here. Contingency reserve is already inside the baseline. Emergency reserve is a choice which is also not the right answer. Emergency reserve is not a project management concept. Control account is another choice which is also not the right answer, as control accounts are work breakdown structure tracking points. They are not related to budgets. So remember, management reserve is the key that bridges your baseline and your total project budget. Moving on to the second question. You are facing difficulty estimating project cost. What is the most likely cause? The options given are lack of knowledge, lack of historical data, resource unavailability, inadequate scope definition. The answer is inadequate scope definition. Let's be honest here. Cost estimation is only as good as your project scope's clarity. If your scope statement or WBS is not well defined, you are estimating on shaky ground. You don't truly know what you are estimating. Materials, timelines, resource needs all become vague guesses. Imagine you are asked to estimate the cost of building a facility. Without clarity on how big, what materials, what features, or what timeline, your estimate is just a guess. This is what happens when the scope is inadequately defined. The other choices given are not the right answers. For example, lack of knowledge is a choice given. Expert judgment can fill this gap. Lack of historical data, that's also not the right answer. Parametric or analogous estimation can still be used. Resource unavailability is not the right option. It affects scheduling. It is not an estimation accuracy point. So next time cost estimation feels impossible, don't blame the spreadsheet, blame the unclear scope statement. Let's wrap it up. The cost baseline is your approved spending plan. The cost budget adds a management reserve for a complete financial picture. And if your estimates fail off, check your scope clarity first. That's a separate video on cost management. Request you to go through the episode to gather more insights and strongly answer these questions to improve your knowledge. That's it for today's episode. Remember, clear scope, smart baselines, disciplined budgeting. These three are the backbone of cost control. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, keep mastering the art of project management. Thank you for tuning in.